The blaring klaxons stirred Sergeant Durant from uneasy rest. In a flash, he was barking orders, rallying his bleary-eyed squad as Zrok's war cries echoed outside. The city's last defensive line had broken. Now the only thing standing between 30,000 bloodthirsty Zrok's berserkers and the occupied human city was Durant's understrength infantry company. Clad in powered exosuits, they numbered just 145 against an endless horde. This city was all that remained of human civilization on this world. The planet's other settlements had been overrun, millions killed and enslaved. The sadistic Zroks committed atrocities too horrifying to fathom, relishing the agony and terror they inflicted. The Zrok's tide smashed into the human fortifications like a tsunami of fangs and bladed limbs. Under relentless fire, the human line buckled but held. The battle-maddened Zroks felt no fear or pain as energy bolts tore through their ranks. The scent of blood drove them into a frenzy. They hurled themselves howling at the human lines even as broken bodies piled high. Hour upon hour, the onslaught continued. Ammunition ran low. Human bodies ran lower. Their defenses were reduced to piles of mangled scrap and rubble-soaked crimson. Still, the humans refused surrender. Each fought with righteous fury, slaughtering dozens before succumbing to exhaustion and wounds. This ground would be held, whatever the cost. As the last few surviving soldiers manned the barricades, reinforcements raced from orbit. But they would arrive too late to save Durant's valiant company. Their stand was ending, but their sacrifice ensured the city would live on. Sergeant Durant uttered a silent prayer as the Zrok's tide finally broke through, flooding the human lines with merciless claws and snapping jaws. Like a dam giving way, the overwhelming mass of berserkers smashed through the exhausted human defenders in a final orgy of violence. Sergeant Durant fired his pulsar until the weapons grew too hot to operate, then fought on with fists and blade. No quarter was asked or given as the last soldiers were borne under in the crimson thrash. From orbit, the reinforcement fleet could only watch helplessly as life signs in the city winked out. The sacrifice had been made. Scanners showed endless Zroks swarming the streets in a mindless frenzy, tearing apart any living thing in their path. But the bulk of the city's population had survived thanks to the company buying them time. News of Durant's unfathomable stand spread like wildfire through human space. Once divided factions united overnight, raging to avenge their fallen. A crusade was launched to obliterate the Zrok's threat forever. On 1,000 worlds, memorial statues were erected to honor the soldiers who stood firm against impossible odds, when the very survival of humanity hung in the balance. Durant and his selfless few became immortal legends. In the ruins below, automated defenses finally contained the berserker hordes. Search teams sifted through the aftermath, flags flying at half-mast. All that remained were shattered barricades and mounds of spent thermal clips buried under carpet of Zrok's dead. Of the 145 soldiers, not even their dog tags could be recovered, but their memory would inspire generations.